Hi everybody. Hope everyone had a good night last night. I got to do some karaoke, so I'm feeling good. So welcome. We're doing Moving at the Speed of Life research in today's on-demand climate. I'm Amanda Keller-Grill. I am InnovateMR's Senior Vice President of Global Innovation and Product Strategy. I'm happy to be here today. A little bit about me, my background. I started off as a project manager in operations. I was at Toluna and Cint, and came over to Innovate in 2014 as employee number 1. And I am joined here with Jake Leal. Let him introduce himself.
How you guys doing? I'm Jake Leal. Basically, I'm the product guy. So I'm here to help out with platforms and educate our clients in the best ways that they can leverage them. Before I joined Innovate, I worked at Decipher, doing the same thing, working with platforms to help clients make the best decisions they can do.
All right, so a little bit about Innovate for those of you that don't know about us. Like I said, Innovate started in 2014, employee number 1. We started off as a panel provider, panel company. We still have our panel asset. It's pointclub.com. We can access millions of people across the globe. And then we kind of, as we grew up a little more, we've started to focus on product innovation, technology-first products, and kind of scaled into that. I started off running the operations at Innovate and then pivoted over into product as we scaled our products to find real people, quality data for faster answers. But as we kind of start talking about this, and Jake will get into a little more about our suite of products and our solutions for the current state of what's going on, I want to set the scene a little bit, talk about where we're at in the space, where Insights is in the larger scale of consumerism and how we are all moving so fast. I'm going to start off with a stat here. This one shocked me. I don't know if it's shocking to any of you, but Americans have a shorter attention span now than a goldfish. That's crazy. That's crazy. Does anyone have any idea the attention span of a goldfish? We can do a little pulse research here.
8 seconds.
8 seconds. Someone read the description of the session. Goldfish of 9 seconds. We as Americans 8 seconds. So you've got 8 seconds to grab somebody's attention and keep it. That is crazy. How are we grabbing attention, keeping them, looking at a pulse of market trends? It's exceedingly difficult. We're all multitasking. We're doing so many things at once. I know I'm at home at night, like watching some reality TV show while I'm sending emails. I'm on my treadmill and I'm thinking about what I'm going to buy at Target. We're doing so many things. We can't stand still. And it's because of our phones, right? We're all here at this conference. We've got our phones. We can't really interact with anybody without our phones. We've got the app to all connect with each other. It's how we're connecting, how we're like going on in this world, our phones. Because we don't have to have, let's say, back in the day, we had to have our phone, our camera, we had to have a map, we had to have a CD player, Walkman, all these things that now we've got an integrated end-to-end solution in our cell phones. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we were all reliant on a payphone. I don't know if anyone remembers a payphone. Now the booths are all empty, it's a little creepy. I know that back in high school, go to the mall movie, and then have to call my parents and be like, can you come pick me up? But I wouldn't even like spare a dime or a quarter. I'd call collect. You remember collect? So you'd have to say like, it's Dave who's calling, and be like, movie's over, come get me, bye, and hang up. And then you just have to wait. You just wait, nothing else to do but just wait and wait and wait. And it's uncomfortable. We don't wait anymore. We don't have to wait for anything. We've got everything here right in our hands. There's no more waiting. Waiting feels not great. We want faster answers. We want everything to be fast. And it's affecting how we do everything. Like it's pervasive across all segments. You can see some Amazon trends. Back in 2015, that's not that long ago. 6 days to get a package. I don't wait 6 days to get my packages anymore. I mean, this stat has us at 3. It's going down. We don't wait. And this excludes Amazon Prime. So we're not waiting anymore to do anything. I know for me, I'm a Target lover. I've got 2 little kids, so we are up to our ears in diapers. And I could order my diapers from my Target app and drive up in 2 hours. And it's going across everywhere. Now Target's facing this problem, at least my local Target, is now taking 6 hours, and I'm as a consumer, like, that won't do for me. I need 2 hours for me to drive up and put it in my trunk and be on my way and do what's coming next. But largely, this hasn't affected insights, right? We've been a little bit pervasive to what's been going on. We haven't had to scale as quickly to match what's going on in the world. I know from sample cons of the past, we've been talking about mobile. Right? We talked about mobile for so many years. Of mobile is coming, mobile is coming. Mobile was here, but we didn't have to scale as quickly in the insights industry. We still kind of get away sometimes. We still get at Innovate some desktop only, 25 minutes, grids. So we're mobile friendly, but still we haven't had to address that head on as much as fast, right? Fast is what we need. And how did we get here? Right? How did this happen so fast? Now, don't really want to talk about unprecedented times. However, it's applicable here. I think, March, April of 2020, everyone kind of hit a pause on research. Everyone was holding their breath. Is this going to be short term, long term? Where are we going? And people were furloughed and people were losing their budgets. Then we started to notice, like, this is long term. Everyone here, we're still in masks. This is still going on. And our consumers were changing behaviors so quickly. We were doing drive-up groceries, takeaway cocktails, mask fashion. Everyone remembers the toilet paper crisis. So everything was changing so quickly, and corporate researchers and all research, we needed to adapt and figure out how do we get our hands on the pulse of research, understand what's going on, access our consumers, and talk to them in the right way. So we're at this place now where we're forcing disintermediation of research and sample buying, because we've cut budgets and we've got questions. We've got real questions, but not enough budget to do it. So how now do we do it? So the latest SMR buyer report, 50% of research now is conducted internally. And that's because, we had budgets cut. People had to scale. They had to figure out how to get questions answered. So who is an internal researcher? Maybe there's some of you here. But typically an internal researcher, they may not be, say, an expert in ideal questionnaire design or specialize in research methodology. They have these real questions that they need to have. And this is a rising part of the industry, $47 billion in the tech-enabled research market. So we've got a growing market and new customers. So what did we do? We created products as an industry. We've created lots of excellent products, excellent survey software to help us answer questions faster. But we've scaled a little too fast. The average company now is using 5.4 tools in the United States to complete their research journey. That is so many different things. You've got one thing to build your survey, buy your sample, then you are, looking at your results, exporting it to Excel, looking at it there, PowerPoint, research journey, storyboarding, so many different tools. And while they're supposed to be making our research journey more seamless, it's arguably making things more complicated. We're trying to do so much ourselves that we are using so many different tools to get there. I don't know about you guys, I don't want to go back to a cell phone, a camera, a Walkman, a map. I don't want that. I want an iPhone, right? I want this integrated end-to-end solution that's going to help me from start to finish. Because 65% of companies now are using some sort of tools to finish their research. So that's why at Innovate, we decided this won't do. We want an iPhone, so let's create an iPhone. Let's do a tool that can create your survey, procure proprietary sample, get you results, faster answers, fraud mitigation, fieldwork management, the whole deal from start to finish. And so that's what we've done. And Jake's going to talk a little bit more about our tool, a little bit on Agile Research, and give you guys a little bit more idea on what we've done.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you for setting the stage. So this is typically where we're going to jump into check out this product, and here's the solution, how it saves the day, right? That's kind of how these go. I wanted to take a step back, and I wanted to observe the trends that Amanda had talked about, right? Shorter attention spans, technologies expediting expectations, and unprecedented times have accelerated the way businesses have to react to certain trends. So that has kind of led to the proliferation of tools, right? But it also poses a challenge because there's this rush for tools and this rush for adaptation, but sometimes we're going to look at technology as a solution without really looking at the most important element, which is the human element. It is the relationship that corresponds with the tools and how we take a partnership and integrate that with technology in order to get you the business insights you really need. So with that in mind, I want to start off with the concept of Agile Research and really the role of tools and platforms within that space, okay? We're not going to get really, really detailed in all these bullet points, but it basically kind of breaks down into 3 different spheres. We have DIY, where we have these great tools and technologies available to us. We can log on to the cloud, and basically it's your baby, right? You take care of it from start to finish. You are managing every aspect of the process lifecycle, and ultimately you're responsible for the success of that research project. There is, over time, the creation of DIT, which is do it together, right? This is going to be a blend. So this is going to be where you are still using technology, you're still managing aspects of this tool and of the lifecycle, but there's also a form of embedded support, and that can vary depending on platform and on service. But the main takeaway here is we do it together. There's a form of collaborative approach or a two-way dialogue in most cases. Ideally, it's face-to-face. If not, it's on Zoom. And if you have to, email, right? But not anymore. And then, and with support, sometimes, depending on the tools, there is a form of tasks and responsibilities which can be taken over for you. So, if your life gets busy, you have a meeting that comes up, in some cases, a team can step in and actually finish the process for you, right? And last is managed services, which is the traditional approach. Completely hands-free. Someone manages all the processes for you, whether it's programming, hosting, sampling, reporting, right? And then you get the report at the end of the day. So understanding this background of the different applications of Agile Research and how the tools can be interacted with, I wanted to talk about some of the conversations we're having with our clients, right? Because there is this shift in how we approach things. There is a proliferation of tools, and sometimes, instead of just jumping into a tool, it's really the conversation that goes along with it that identifies the best route to go, right? So with that, make this a little light and fun. One of the main things that we talk about with our clients is understanding that research exists on a spectrum, right? Agile research can be kind of a buzzword, right? It can be full surveys, it can be directional research, but it is not the end-all be-all. It won't replace traditional research, it won't do everything for you, right? So having that conversation with a client or understanding that in a research partner is important, because if you want larger sample sizes, that doesn't necessarily always correlate with Agile research. If you want to do a 25-minute survey, doesn't necessarily always jive. And then again, certain research designs, different design aspects, right? Those are things that you need to understand, and it's important to focus on those when you are choosing a research partner and you're choosing a research platform. The second piece, and this is something that I come across a lot, is the focus shouldn't be the tool necessarily. It should be your research objectives. So we talk about the iPhone. It's an end-to-end solution. It's integrated. It gives us all these great things. But if your goal was to chop down a tree, the iPhone is not going to be especially helpful. If you needed to unclog a toilet, right? iPhone's not going to do the job for you. So the idea here is when you're looking at a platform solution and you're looking for a research partner, right? The idea is to be on the same page with your research objectives, because a tool can give you exactly what you need, can make your life so much easier, and can expedite processes, save you costs, and make you look like a hero in the boardroom. But if you go with a solution that isn't actually intertwined with your needs, then ultimately it's going to lead to headaches and pain and regret. So this is another conversation. It's really important that you're on the same page with your partners. And the last one is do it yourself versus do it together, okay? And this is a little tongue-in-cheek, right? But the idea is, when you look at technology, it's supposed to make your life easier. It's supposed to make things more convenient, right? And that can be the case, but it's important to understand the trend that Amanda mentioned. You know, if 50% of the research is being conducted in-house, there's a shift of priorities and responsibilities. Although the responsibility is being put on you as a researcher potentially, it doesn't mean that you have the bandwidth, or it doesn't mean that you have the time to do it, or that it will be convenient, right? So there are different platforms and solutions, such as with the Vision Suite, where if you want to be autonomous and handle it yourself, DIY is right for you. And if you also want to have a collaborative approach, do it together, we support that as well. So it's important, again, understanding what is being offered by a platform and a service, and then having those conversations. Because, again, like, you guys get busy. So if you want to try it on your own, but still have a partner in the day-to-day, be able to interact with someone and have someone actually be like almost an extension of your team, then do it together can really be like a catalyst to what your workflow is and how you guys get things accomplished. And so, as a quick summary of some of these trends and really the important decisions that are made when we're interacting with clients and platforms, you know, our approach is understanding, empathy, and action. Research is on a spectrum, so understanding those goals and objectives first, then choose the correct path. Focusing on the client. A tool-first mentality puts the research relationship second and causes pain down the road, right? If you don't properly assess the situation, it could be trouble. And then understanding preferences. We talk about that extension of a team, having a collaborative approach. So being there to be able to provide support, be set up to provide that support 24/7, can really make a big difference and drive action. So with that leads us to the product, because like I said, I'm the product guy. And that leads us to the Vision Suite. And Amanda teed this up a little bit, but the Vision Suite is designed to be an Agile Research tool. It's an end-to-end solution, so it's going to provide you the tools necessary to start and design a survey, and then ultimately lead you to reporting, data quality, and assessment. And it has integrations in the sense of sample being included. So if we look at this breakdown here, Vision surveys, it's about ease of use, right? If you're taking on this work yourself, you don't have like 2 hours to train yourself necessarily on how to use a tool and learn all the latest updates. So ease of use and simplicity go a long, long way. So that's a focus for us. Thematic editors. So whether that's templates or that is brand styling guides and having colors and everything matched to a T, we have that built in. And then again, real-time cloud reporting. So whether you need to export that to PowerPoint, slides, you wanted to even export that to a third-party data tool, we can accommodate all that through Vision surveys. Vision sampling. So as Amanda mentioned, we have first-party sample integrated through here. So as opposed to having to go out, work with a third-party partner, integrate redirects, work with panel providers, manage expectations, all of this is built directly in here. It's a matter of clicking 1 or 2 buttons, and you can outline the audience you're looking for, the markets you're interested in, and directly start sending panelists into your surveys. And we also have programmatic pieces to that as well. So being that everyone's busy wearing multiple hats, within the sampling perspective and the surveys, we actually have custom alerts. So if you wanted to get notifications to your phone or over email about project progress, about quotas closing out, or about just really the survey closing itself, all of this is built in. We have the pacing, we have the notifications. It's all custom tailored to how you want to be communicated with. And the last piece is vision quality. And last doesn't mean the least important. Actually, quality is a huge piece in the market, and one that actually kind of gets shied away from in a lot of conversations. But data fraud is a huge factor in the marketplace. If we look at even corporations and enterprises, no one is impervious to fraud, right? I believe Forbes tabbed it in the next, I want to say the next 10 years or so, it's going to be about $40 trillion in cybersecurity losses for companies. So that is paramount to your research, right? Because you have to have the integrity of your data. And it's also important to have a tool and a partner who understands that and has built-in solutions to support you. So within Vision Quality, we've actually developed an open-end text analyzer tool. So that is based on artificial intelligence, and it looks at things like high-frequency nouns, verbs, and adjectives. And so in real time, we can engage responses, assess the contextuality, how relevant it is to a particular response, and flag or remove those people for you in real time. That way it cleans and maintains your data set. We also have digital fingerprinting, GUIP checks, straight lining, a ton of different tools. I don't want to bore you with the nuances, but it's important to understand that we take this very seriously, and it's integrated into the suite of tools, so it's one less thing you have to think about. And just a couple quick examples of the platform. And that's text analyzer right there. The sampling integration, where you can go ahead and pick audiences. And just a quick example of our results tab and some of the cloud reporting that I have access to. So at the end of the day, what's our vision, right? It's helping anyone who needs faster answers. It's helping folks reduce time and cost to insights and without compromising on quality. Because at the end of the day, right, speed's great, costs are great, but if you can't trust the data, what's it all worth, right? So this is our vision and our purpose. And with that, I want to thank you all for your time, both do, and open up to Q&A if anyone has any questions. Yes?
Would you talk a little bit about your IP analysis tool?
Yeah. Well, basically, and you maybe help me on this one too. For the IP analysis, we look at a couple different things. There's going to be geo-IP, so we look at the location of the IP. We look at the device configurations. We have a partnership where we look at device configurations and actually the scarcity of them in the marketplace. So that way, if there are certain configurations from a device perspective, from a browser perspective, from an operating system, we actually scan that, and if there's a configuration that is less than 1% of the population, and that's just an example, right? We can detect that, and if it's so rare and obscure, we don't even let them in the surveys because it's already suspicious in itself. So that's a couple of the key layers. There's also recapture that's built in. We have bot checks. And we actually have a full-page document that really goes into it in detail. So I can get your information afterwards, and I can share that with you if you'd like. Yes?
What different types of methodologies do you have pre-built into the tool? I mean, is it just basic survey, or do you have different types of methodology research where you have kind of templates built in?
Yeah. So the system's default structure is custom, so you can do whatever you want. But yes, we do have templates that are built in, and then we also have the ability, especially when they do it together, where if you need more complex aspects, whether it's like a max diff or a conjoint, those are still things that can be supported through the team and through that do-it-together aspect, and it's all built in there. Any other questions?
I guess I'll have one.
Yes.
Do you, first off, again, what about any creative testing and stuff like that? Do you guys kind of do that as well, or
Yes.
images and videos and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's all within the suite of tools.
To do it.
A quick question, I noticed you have the sample set up based on, you can select down to job titles.
Yes.
Is there a layer where there may be job responsibilities, because you have a certain title, we're looking for particular functions they perform, is that possible in the sample?
Yeah, so good point. So within the suite itself and the integration, it's based on our consumer panel, which is point level. So we will have some base level employee metrics. With that being said, we also have a separate proprietary B2B panel where we do have decision maker responsibility. And so if you think about it in the context of this tool, you would be able to click a couple buttons and set it up, but you don't need to. We have a whole team, so that's where the do it together comes in. If you needed that extra layer and nuance to your project, someone would do all the heavy lifting, set it up for you, and you'd still be able to reach that audience.
Yeah, all of our products, they work together, integrated, but they all also can be standalone as well. So you could build a survey and then access our B2B panel outside of it, and we can help you with that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for your time.
Yeah.